After 5 years of rehabilitating Canada's worst drivers, this year's nominee, Scott,
Oh my God, Scott.
is the most reckless person we've ever dealt with.
We'll die if we crash. Whoa, 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 whoa. We will die if we crash, dude.
It would be tragic if Scott died.
Holy.
Who would drive his son, Isaac, around?
He's almost 16 months old, and he's the reason why I need to not drive like a lunatic all the time. Because you can't ruin a precious face like this.
Scott says he drives safely when Isaac's on board. But when he's not,
I'm a good drunk driver. I've driven well over 200 kilometers per hour. I've been suspended several times, and I've never actually stopped driving. But I probably hit this guy's car at like 50.
Did you just drive off?
I changed my tire, and then I drove off. In order to drive, when I was off on house arrest, I got a friend, memorized his name and his date and all that sort of stuff, and then I drove as him for a number of years.
I wasn't even gonna mention that because it's so illegal. He got pulled over drunk driving back from the thing. He didn't have a license at the time, so he pretended to be one of our friends. Hey, yeah, my name's da-da-da-da-da.
according to Scott, that friend didn't know he'd been convicted of drunk driving until he received a letter from the police.
He had to pay him off.
A couple $1,000 I had to pay this guy.
Why does Scott think he can get away with saying all this?
Cops are very gullible, especially city police.
This morning, ex-cop Cam called the Calgary City Police to tell them all about Scott.
Basically, he's telling us that he's been driving under suspension while under house arrest, also claiming another person was convicted of impaired driving in his name. Yes.
As far as the law is concerned, Scott is innocent until proven guilty. As far as we're concerned, it's time for his shoulder check challenge.
Hey, we should be good to go.
When Scott does go, he speeds and doesn't have enough time to see the green sign over his right shoulder.
Well, I failed that one.
Scott laughs it off, but Danny feels grossly disrespected.
What'd you think about that? Just not gonna talk?
I'm done, dude.
I don't understand why.
You. Hollywood.
Wow.
I came here to try and get you help, Scott. I came here because you're dangerous and you're gonna kill somebody in 5 years.
and you think
and everybody agrees on that. And all of a sudden you do this one
Can you
test.
tone it down? Like,
No,
I've never
2 years of you driving like a maniac and looking over at me with a smile. You're gonna, that smile, yeah, that's the one.
My teammate, my support, Danny is ferociously upset with me.
Danny is so upset, he's canceling the insurance policy Scott uses to drive.
I'd like to cancel my policy effective tomorrow, please.
And just like that, the wheels that Scott uses to speed around in are uninsured.
It's canceled as of tomorrow. She can't drive the car around anymore.
People make mistakes, and you can make one. And if you're doing 200 kilometers an hour, when you make that very simple mistake, you're gonna kill somebody.
When we come back, Scott learns what Cam has done.
Reported to the police.
Overconfident Scott just learned that his friend Danny won't cover his insurance anymore. Scott can't afford his own insurance, so he's looking for...
I mean, another sucker friend in the meantime.
No, man, no, man. The whole idea
I have to
of
not
this...
get in trouble. I have to slow down so I don't get
No, you're
tickets.
missing the point. If you can't afford your insurance, you have only one option, and that's to not drive.
I have to drive better. Drive good for 5 years and then insure myself again.
I don't think you're understanding Andrew. You have one option here. If you're going to drive, you have to do it legal, period.
Then, Scott learns his on-camera criminal admissions have been reported.
report it to the police.
As a veteran ex-cop, Cam still carries a badge. And it's not for nostalgia. This badge comes with the responsibility of enforcing the law.
Well, what do you think is going to happen when you start talking about this stuff? I'm obligated to share this information with the police service where you live. And in fact, I would think that you'll be getting a knock at the door fairly shortly.
How do you expect me to learn anything?
Oh, I think that if you don't learn from this, you're really got your ears plugged. Man, you're dangerous. You're drinking and driving. You're driving around uninsured. You're going to kill somebody or maim somebody, paralyze a family, and that would make you pay for life.
So you're saying I'm not learning?
That's exactly what we're saying. Scott's behavior at our rehabilitation center has made his friend Danny start calling him
Hollywood. You, Hollywood. Seriously. You're Hollywood. You think you're the greatest thing on earth ever since you got invited onto Canada's Worst Driver.
I'm enjoying myself out here.
He's like, last night we're standing out back talking to people, and he's like, they make me go in front of the panel. I'm going to tell them I haven't learned anything.
So you're saying I'm not learning?
Scott learned that Danny's generosity has run out and he has been kicked out of rehab.
I don't think right now he's realizing that that was the best thing for him, but I hope in the long term he will realize that. I hope, really hope.
I hope Scott doesn't think he should keep driving.
He can convince himself and anyone else of anything he wants. This is what this young man does best.
He can convince himself of anything he wants.
He will believe that he walked away from here in some way treated unfairly.
The doctor is exactly right.
So basically they're like, yeah, we like the fact that you're about to change, but you haven't yet. You're a dumbass, and we're gonna tell on you. All right, that's super mature. Go Canada.
The idea of the show is to help drivers, and I think we've just helped drivers in Alberta.
Driving like a jerk just isn't cool anymore. I think most Canadians feel that way.
The demographics, Cam, also are that everyone knows someone who's been killed by someone driving recklessly.
Most of our bad drivers are expecting Scott to graduate tonight. But
We here at the rehab center deal with only valid drivers, and Scott, you're no longer a valid driver. You're just a guy who doesn't have any insurance. So I'll just give you back this piece of plastic. After all, it's just a piece of plastic. That's all it is. You can have that. You can take that on your way as this cab comes to pick you up. So, Danny, you're free to go as well. This taxi's for you. Thank you for all your help, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You've done a good thing. I really hope you live a long, safe life, because your son deserves that.
when we met Scott, he was the most unrepentant bad driver
Like, whoa! What the
we'd ever come across.
If I'm driving drunk, then the cruise control's set.
maniac?
When Scott drove himself to our rehab center, he broke a driving law 36 times
Whoa!
in a span of just 30 minutes.
Whoa, dude, see? Like, was that necessary?
Was that dangerous?
Yes? Stop.
Why did you come to rehab?
He came to rehab to show every single one of you guys up.
It's not gonna work out the way you planned it, Scott, on the cool on TV part.
Wow, about to cry. Shed a tear.
Now that he has no insurance and has been reported to the police, Scott is shedding tears.
Well, life is unfair. So I suppose this can be as well.
Scott is really lucky to be alive.
Just to wake him up, man. Wake him up.
3.5 months after filming, Scott hasn't been criminally charged with anything. Who knows if he ever will be.